So good, so good, so good.
New markdowns up to 70% off are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Fresh kicks, spring tops, new dresses. There's always a score.
I mean, the denim section is unreal.
Why do I rack? All the dresses. I always find something amazing.
Head to your Nordstrom Rack store to find can't-miss deals on all the spring things. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Hi, this is Javon, your Blinds.com design consultant.
Oh, wow. A real person.
Yep. I'm here to help with everything from selecting the perfect window treatments to...
Well, I've got a complicated project.
No problem. I can even help schedule a professional measure and install. We can also send you samples fast and free.
I just might have to do more.
Whatever you need.
So the first room we're looking at is for...
Shop Blinds.com now and save up to 40% site-wide. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man. Drink it in, man. Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid drinkers. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Eric Okrie, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, serving up that delicious Honolulu blue flavored Kool-Aid. You guys know what it is. Drink it in, everybody. Drink it in, man. Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Gotta make it double.
Cornbread!
I am here solo on the Detroit Koolaid Cast flagship, and today I can't mess around because I got the Okrie Lions full first round mock draft 1.0. You guys have seen me put out the Lions 7-round mocks. You've seen me have hot takes. You've seen me talk draft for weeks and weeks now, but we're going to get into this. I'm going to give you my picks, round 1 of the NFL draft, which is a little over a week away. I'm going to go 1 to 32. I may have some different picks. I may have some chalk. I may have takes. I might give you a trade or two. We'll see what happens. But this is where I'm at right now in the process. So everybody with the first pick, we have the Tennessee Titans selecting. Part of me wanted to do a swerve right here at pick 1 because I feel like it's just been all Cam Ward, nothing but Cam Ward. And Cam Ward's not a do everything Wasn't a 5-star. He's not an unbelievable player from top to bottom, but he is a quarterback. That is a need. It does seem to be everybody and their brother saying it. So as much as I wanted to take someone else, we'll go with Cam Ward to the Tennessee Titans, who are absolutely, well, you tell them, Charles.
That's terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible. Pick 2, this is where I did a little flip-flop. I thought about this a lot, and I know everybody's going with Travis Hunter here. I'm going to go Abdul Carter to Cleveland. I feel like they have what they have on offense, really very odd to me for them to write off Deshaun Watson when they still owe him buco bucks and he's still under contract and their quarterback, but they're just bringing in old men and Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett and anybody that they're just throwing darts at a wall. So I feel like if you're going to do that and just try to get by running the ball and doing certain things, why get another receiver even though Travis Hunter's a 2-for-1? Like, give me Abdul Carter, put him across from Myles Garrett, who you just paid. Get your offense figured out over the next couple years and continue to play top-end defense. So I'm going to go with Abdul Carter at 2 to Cleveland. Travis Hunter, cornerback / wide receiver cornerback to the Giants at 3. And the main reason I'm doing this is because I really want the double dip. I really, really want Travis Hunter and Shedeur to end up on the same team. Will that work out here in this mock? You'll have to stay tuned and see what happens. But you can't take Shedeur at 3 and think that you're going to pair up Hunter because New England's just going to run the card to the podium and take Travis Hunter. So you have to take him first and see if you can then combo meal it up down the road or middle of the draft, or do what Houston did a couple years ago and go 2, 3, and then trade for pick 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, and end up getting your guy there. We'll see if that happens here in this mock or in real life. So I got Travis Hunter to the Giants at 3. If you think about it, Travis Hunter's pretty crazy. Him and Malik on offense, and then you also get a corner, which they desperately need on defense, and he's playing in a big media market like that. That's got a lot of sizzle to it. I like that pick a lot. At 4, again, I wanted to do something different. I'm looking at the head coach, Mike Vrabel, another one of these New England retreads. Oh, I'm a tough guy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I used to play defense and knock people's heads off. You see that type. He thinks he's Dan Freaky Campbell, but he's not. He had a little run in Tennessee and all the worm boys here in Detroit. Oh, I wish I would have had Mike Vrabel. I tried to tell him to do that. And they get Dan Campbell and they just love him even more. So Mike Vrabel is just going to kind of do the same old Patriots stuff. He's going to get a bunch of big defenders and try to play bully ball, and he's never going to have a top level QB, and they're just going to be, I like Drake May, don't get me wrong, but they're not going to help him enough to probably make him good. So as much as I wanted to go in a defensive direction or something other than what you're hearing, it just seems like they're set on Will Campbell. Now, my take on Will Campbell and the reason he bothers me is his personality. And the reason I don't like him, but based on his personality and the fact on tape that he gets beat and he's short arms and all this stuff, is the reason I don't like his personality is because he has one. He's an old lineman. You shouldn't be wearing bright yellow suits. You shouldn't be talking with New Orleans swag when you're on the microphone. Nobody wants to hear from you. You're an offensive lineman. You're a left tackle. Just be quiet and do your job. And that's what the Lions get, are guys that just do work. They're not going to get some prima donna offensive left tackle. All right, at 5, I've got Jacksonville going with Mason Graham from Michigan. Part of me was going to go offense, and I was going to do X, Y, and Z, and I was like, no, I'm just going to go with Mason Graham. He's too big of a beast. They already passed on Aiden Hutchinson. Remember when they did that?
Unleash Hutch.
And number 97 came to the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I remember that because we were screaming in the microphones. I couldn't believe it, and it's been incredible ever since. So I see them just taking a top stud like Mason Graham. I could see Mason Graham falling a few spots or getting towards the back end of the top 10, but everyone seems to just love him at pick 5 there. Pick 6, I'm going to go chalk again. Ashton Genty, running back. This seems like Pete Carroll's beast mode. Get me a big running back. I'll build up my defense. I got Geno Smith for 3-4 years. I'm not sure why they paid him. He's been a better player than anyone would ever expect, but why are you building your team around him? Why is Tom Brady not going to get his guy? Taking Geno Smithy, I do not know, but he'll manage the game. Hand it to Genty, make a few plays to Brock Bowers, try to create a defense and see if you can actually win a couple games in Las Vegas. That'd be nice for them. I could care less. At pick 7 for AG, Aaron Glenn, the new head coach, used to be the future head coach, now current head coach, Aaron Glenn of the New York Jets. Give me my boy Membu, big right tackle. Not sure if he can play the left side, but seems very safe. Very, we're going to build up the trenches. And part of me wanted to give Aaron Glenn a DB or a safety, but it's like, I'm gonna go big on the offensive line. That's probably the safest pick for him and something that everybody be happy with and sounds good at the microphone. Will it work or not? We'll see.
Sergeant and Mr. Smith, you're gonna love this house.
Bunk beds in a closet?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing, it's precision-crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision-crafted performance.
Take your vibes and go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit TemptationsTreats.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Chevrolet. When you have 4 new tires, every drive feels fresh. Right now, buy 3 select tires and get 1 for just $1 during the Chevrolet Certified Service Fresh Start Tire event. Visit Chevrolet.com/service offers or see dealer for full details. At participating U.S. GM dealers only, highest or equal value tire will be $1. Offer ends 5/31/2025. Not available with other offers.
Pick 8, Carolina Panthers. I've got Michael Williams, edge player from Georgia. Now, I'm a little torn on this because I thought Michael Williams was the second best, Georgia pass rusher. I thought Walker was that dude. But the more I've been looking at it and some of the default ranks that we use, excuse me, I can't breathe here. They got Michael Williams up top as kind of their 13th overall player on our default rankings. They got Jalen Walker at 20, so I could see Jalen Walker going here at 8, but I just thought, hey, I'm going to go with these rankings and get them a edge player. It's kind of their top need, and go with that. Pick 9 for the New Orleans Saints. The Giants are not going to get their combo meal because I think this is such a sweet spot for Shedeur Sanders. They need a quarterback. Derek Carr's arm fell off. He was never that good the last few years anyway. Shedeur Sanders can come in there. He's just a pro, man. I love everything about this kid, and I think he's getting heat for no reason. Go down there. I think New Orleans will love him. I think he'd love New Orleans. He can play pretty early. He can do what he's got to do. He's got some pieces on both sides of the ball they can work with. Like I like this fit a lot. I kind of hope that happens. Number 10 to Chicago with Benedict Johnson over there as the head coach. I mean, you've heard a lot of smoke about Tyler Warren going to the Jets, but I see picking a tight end at 7 in that New York market just doesn't seem like a fit to me. But at pick 10 to Benedict Johnson to, I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to throw him bubbles. I'm going to let him throw. I'm going to put him in the backfield and run Wildcat. I'm going to let him block. I'm going to do tight. It just seems like something he would do and think that he's going to just revolutionize this player. When I see Tyler Warren, I think of a hard-working, decent athlete, but I don't see like all-world player. I just don't. So I hope the Bears do this because I want to whoop the Bears every single time and make Ben Johnson crawl in the fetal position and say "mommy" to his daddy, who's Dan freaking Campbell. Pick 11 to the who we got here at 11? San Francisco. I mean, give me Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan. You see Will Johnson going anywhere from top 10 to middle of the first round to back end of the first round. I think he's going to settle in right there at 10 to 12, maybe 15 range. So it's kind of like the type of player that San Francisco gets. You know, they always seem to either get kind of a zone ball corner or an offensive player. It's kind of what they do after they spent like however many years drafting D linemen. So I could see Will Johnson going there. At 12, Dallas Cowboys. I mean, go ahead and give me Matthew Golden to the Cowboys. I mean, it seems like a player that, Matthew Golden is smooth. He's fast. He is a good player, but the only reason I have him going here is because the Cowboys, they'll be like, we got to get another player and free up CeeDee Lamb and help Dak. And, the only time the Cowboys were half decent over the last 3-4 decades is when they actually built up their offensive line, had a run game and a defense. And now they think they're going to win with no defense, a terrible offensive line, and a couple skill players. So good luck with that. Probably lots of L's still coming Dallas's way. There's 2 L's in Dallas, and there's a lot more than that for the Cowboys. Let's see here. 13, I've got Malachi Starks going to the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins just lost my boy Holland, who I absolutely loved in the draft process when he was a pro, how he played as a pro, and now I think he's in New York with the Giants. So Malachi Starks might be one of my top 3 favorite players in this draft. He's smart, he's tough, he's good, he's a ball hawk, he's versatile. I mean, I love everything about him. So as much as I love him to the Detroit Lions, I got to go with Malachi Starks all the way up here at 13 to Miami. 14 to the Colts. This one was a tough one for me because you hear tight end, you hear interior lineman, you hear edge, you hear maybe they could use another linebacker, maybe they need more corners. Like, I'm going to go ahead and try to protect my boy Anthony Richardson, who I don't know if he's my boy anymore after watching him last year. He's all over the map, throwing, the attitude, the lack of running, the fact that the team doesn't even believe in him. They act like they're bringing in Daniel Jones to be like his equal. It's like, did you
switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet? Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Clorox
Clorox Sentiva smells like grapefruit. Cleans like Clorox. And feels like...
Okay, we could be here all day. Try Clorox Sentiva for a trusted clean with long-lasting freshness. Also available in lavender and coconut. Use as directed.
Spring is here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Watch Daniel Jones for 5-6 seasons, however long he was in New York. Like, everyone always thought he was going to be much better, and this is the year, and look at how he can run, look at his size, and he ended up never being good. So I don't know why you would bring in a guy like that and challenge your young cat. Both of them are just big, good-looking athletes that neither has proven they can play the game of football at the NFL level. So I'm going to go with Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive tackle from Texas. This was a guy I feel like that was getting a lot of buzz early and then really cooled off and now is coming back to that upper middle of the first round. I've even seen him mocked to the Lions a couple times. I mean, I like his talent, but he's got to go to a team that needs to beef up their line, has a young signal caller, stuff like that, in my opinion. So 15 to Atlanta. I'll do a couple more, get our great sponsors in here, and come back and finish out. You know, the Atlanta Falcons need a lot of things. They think they're rolling because they got a couple offensive players and now Penix as their young quarterback, but who's rushing the passer? Who's stopping the run? Who's covering people? Who's doing all these things? And they won like more games than you would think, last year. I kept thinking, man, the Atlanta Falcons are terrible. And they kind of kept winning and almost won that division, which is crazy. So I'm going to give him Shamar Stewart, the talented edge rusher that has potential, but no production. That's usually kind of what Atlanta does when they do try to fill one of their needs, which is edge rusher. 16, Arizona Cardinals. I mean, this one is like, you hear them all over the map, like, oh, let's get Kyler Murray another weapon. Let's protect our midget quarterback with big men, and then he can't see over the line. Oh, let's get hybrid defenders that are like safeties, but let's play them at middle linebacker. Like, Arizona doesn't know what they're doing. Now, I'll give them a little credit. The last couple years, they seem to make a couple nice trades, as well as their new GM seems to have a better clue of taking good football players that are going to be there for a long time. But this is still just not a good franchise, so I didn't know what to give them. I don't want to help Kyler Murray at all because I absolutely can't stand him. It's him and Aaron Weirdo for me are on the same level, just horrible human beings that I'll never root for. So I went ahead and just gave him Jalen Walker, the outside linebacker, edge rusher from Georgia. And let's go ahead and do 17 before we take our break. The Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I do love me some Joe Burrow. Absolute ice cold, stone cold, stud, passing savant. And kind of a weird dude, but or maybe he's got a crazy swag. It's one or the other. I can't tell sometimes. But Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, They need help on the O-line, the defense. Everyone's like, get him a tight end. It's like, no. So I tried to do what I thought was smart here and give them Mike Green, the edge rusher. Yes, he's a bit smaller, but he has production. He's tough. You could put him on the edge, fill a very big need, and make a smart pick. And what's their owner? Isn't it Mike? I forget their owner's name. It's something. Maybe it's not Green, but it's something close. So they have similar boring names. But no, this is a good football player that I think could go to Cincy and help that defense. Joe Burrow's going to do his thing, throw it all around the yard. You know, they've got the new run game too there with the young cat that's rolling. So I like a lot of things that Cincinnati's doing. One of my more fun teams to watch. The way they play football, the way they just throw it all over. And find ways to win without dominant defenders other than a few here or there. A lot of young cats on the outside and at safety that I think can come into their own, but also like really leave that offense kind of, you know, on its own a lot to go score 45 or else they get beat by 10. So everybody, that's the first 17 picks. Let me take a quick break and come back. We're getting closer and closer to the Lions pick, so we'll get you through that. I hope you're enjoying this mock, the takes, the opinions. We've talked so much about the Lions pick, so much about who they should take, their needs. Everything is like, let's get this whole first round feel, because before you know it, it'll be here next week, and I want to hopefully be able to say I told you so, but you know it's going to get crazy, and the first round's going to be nuts. So I'll probably get like 3-4 of these right, to be honest, and all the rest are going to be all over the map. So everybody, let's get our great sponsors in here. I'll take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. Kool-Aid drinkers, I'm back. Thank you so much for listening to the show, checking out the show, sharing the show, repping the show, being part of the show, and telling people about the show, because we do this for the people.
And the people consist of the millions.
The millions and millions of you Lions fans out there. Shout out also to my wrestling fans. Part of me always wants to do like more wrestling pods or talk wrestling, but there's just not enough time in the day. And it's like, we got WrestleMania coming up this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. We got stuff on Friday all loaded up. I can't wait for the show. I don't know why the final boss hasn't been around. That's been frustrating. Not the greatest build, but I think the show is going to be absolutely crazy. The environment, the stage, the whole spectacle is going to be off the charts. So if you love wrestling, or if you haven't checked it out in a while, go make sure to watch WrestleMania this Saturday, Sunday. You'll be entertained. I have no doubt about it. And just tremendous with the storylines, the entertainment, just the spectacle. The show is incredible. I've loved it since I was a kid. It's still just great today. It's actually as big as it's ever been from a dollars and cents standpoint, and what they're doing with the storylines. Heel John Cena, The Rock, the final boss, Roman Reigns, absolutely incredible. So everybody check that out. But that's enough of me promoing WWE right now. Let's get back into this mock draft. I know you guys want to hear all about Lions. Me and Chops will do that. We're going to do the Marathon NFL Draft Pod. I still got to work on the other microphone. I apologize for the last show. I did the wireless mic walking around the scouting office, and I didn't like the way it sounds, so I got to work on my levels. I got to see how I can get that fixed up before the draft day, but appreciate all you guys listening, still checking me out and repping me on that solo show. So I do like doing this mock, though, because it could and will be all over the board, but it was kind of a fun exercise to go through these and put people at different spots and sort of see where we end up. So I did about half, maybe more than half of the first round there in Seg 1, and here we go for pick 18 with the Seattle Seahawks. And this was another tough one for me. I mean, it feels like they need, interior linemen, maybe more juice off the edge. They love to draft corners and safeties. They've already kind of loaded up on wide receivers, so that to me wasn't really a need for them. So what I did is I just took a guy that's a little bit of an enigma and somebody that I didn't really know where to put. Is he going to be top 14, 15? Is he going to fall to the back of the first round? Is he going to be around 2? Or is he going to be right here to the Seattle Seahawks? And that's Walter Nolan, edge from Ole Miss. OLE, by the way, at Chops in the D. Ole Miss. 6'3", about 300 pounds, get after the quarterback. I have no idea where or who Walter Nolan's going to go to, but somebody's going to take him decently high, I think, because he does what interior guys have to do to get drafted high, get after the quarterback. At 19, this is Chalkity Chalk McChalk. Everybody's saying this. I'm going to go as well. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jihad Campbell. And I love this player. Every time I see him, I think he's more and more of an alpha male. He's just built right. He's got a deep voice. He looks the part. Yeah, I heard his shoulders all messed up, but as long as that's not a medical red flag, he's going to be a great pro, I think, and a really good football player. I could see him going much higher than this, or if that injury is a concern, he could be there for the Detroit Lions to consider as well. We'll see what happens. At pick 20, the Denver Broncos. Early in the process, it was Colston Loveland, and then it was this guy and that guy. Now the buzz I'm hearing, as well as a great fit, I think, is Omarion Hampton, the running back from North Carolina. Hampton can catch, he can run, he's tough, he's fast, he's got just prototypical RB1 type capabilities, and Denver highly overperformed last year, and they lost a couple of their bodies. So if you can get a guy like this and just make him your workhorse and then supplement with some of their smaller RBs that they used last year, I think that's a nice way to go. That's a really nice fit, I think, and that gets 2 RBs in the top 20, which is kind of nice to see the way they're kind of coming back in the league, and both really good, solid players. These aren't scat backs, these aren't just pass catchers, these are do-it-all type running backs, and Hampton could be a big-time player when it comes to fantasy football as well. I'm just here to tell you. Pick 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're all over the map. They're probably going to get that enigma, that piece of garbage that just, we'd have a drop. This guy's such a piece of crap for their new quarterback.
You pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, giant twerp, scumbag.
I still can't figure out why Mike Tomlin, one of the swaggiest, most no-nonsense, one of the best coaches in football, why he would even entertain having Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, and then for Aaron Rodgers have the audacity to leave his boy Pat McAfee high and dry on his big night at show. It's like he does this whole show in front of a sold-out house. Everyone's like, oh, I'm sure Aaron Rodgers will show up at the end and make everybody happy and say how he's the new Steelers quarterback. Nope, he can't be bothered. He's probably over there in Budapest or somewhere in a cave, with his legs crossed, meditating to whoever he meditates. Anyway, that's I can't get on a full Aaron Rodgers rant, but there you go. There's a little taste for you. I couldn't find a good fit for the Steelers. Like, sometimes they take big defenders, they like linebackers, they take old linemen. So I just went with another spot I feel like they take a lot, which is really good physical quality football players at corner. And I gave him Jahdae Barron from Texas here. It just seemed safe. It seemed a good fit. It seemed like he'd just play from day one and be a really good football player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's why I went there. 22, another slam dunk. Just no doubt about it pick here. Everyone's talking about it. It makes a ton of sense. At 22 to the LA Chargers, give me Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan. Catch the football. Harbaugh loves him. Just showed more toughness than I thought, even though he had some injuries. He's just very good pass catcher, good football player overall, and a huge screaming need for the LA Chargers. Pick 23. This is the Cheddarheads, the mozzarella sticks, the goat cheese lovers over there in Green Bay, Wisconsin, that'll be hosting the draft. I'm not sure if anyone's actually going to show up. I'm sure it's not going to be the incredible spectacle that Detroit had. It's probably going to be a few cows and a few, guys in overalls stand out in a field, watching a few draft prospects come across the way. But we'll see if they show up big. You got to love the history of Green Bay, but not the greatest destination site for those that don't live there or don't, subscribe to that lifestyle for NFL draft purposes, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Green Bay was another tough one. It was like, what do I want to do with them? They're losing a corner. They've got, certain guys at the edge. I feel like they solidified their linebacker last year with the couple guys they've taken. They've got skill players. I do somewhat like their quarterback. He can throw from all platforms and do some things. He's kind of erratic and inconsistent, though, no doubt about it. So do I help the offense? I give him another defender. I was like, you're losing a couple corners on the outside or whatever. Let's go ahead and give him Maxwell Hairston, my boy from Kentucky. He could go lower than this. There's no doubt about it. He could even be a second-round prospect, but I feel like Maxwell Hairston is fast. He's physical. He's ball hawk. I just think he's going to be a really solid corner, good football player in the league. And why I gave that type of good player to Green Bay, I don't know. And then you have the Minnesota Vikings follow them up, another team that's going to get whooped by the Detroit Lions in the NFC North. Go ahead and give me Nick Emenwari, the safety from South Carolina. Harrison there will be on his way out. This guy is big and physical, 6'3", 220, freak athlete. Just seems like lose one, add one type of pick here for Minnesota. 25 to Houston. Houston, I was like, man, they just traded their left tackle. There's not really any tackles left that I love. Well, there's one that kind of plays tackle, but I'm trying to save him for a pick later. You know what I mean? There's other options. So I went with Tyler Booker. A lot of the people have him to the Detroit Lions. I went ahead and gave Tyler Booker to the Houston Texans to keep Stroud upright, and I really like what Houston did by adding Christian Kirk. So if they can solidify their O-line as well as have a young upcoming defense, I feel like you can protect. CJ Stroud's going to get it to his playmakers and do some things. 26 LA Rams. Like, I looked at this a couple times and I was like, man, I want to give them a quarterback. I want to give them Jackson Dart. That seems like a Sean McVay type pick. But then I was like, no, they just kind of went all in on Matty Statty again, and they're trying to win. They added Devontae. They're not going to do a future pick right here on a quarterback. They're going to wait and get that figured out later. So I went ahead and bolstered their offense even more because Statty Patty needs weapons all over the field to make him happy and do what he does. So I went ahead and gave them Emeka Egbuka, just safe, smart, over the middle of the field. You could put Puka and Devontae on the outside, have Egbuka in the middle and run the football and all the stuff they do. Probably be a pretty good team this year if they make that type of selection. So that's the route I went. 27 to Baltimore. I could see like if a Tyler Booker is here, him going to a Baltimore, but I went ahead and gave them what seems to be one of their top needs is still having more juice, more edge rushers, which they always seem to take, but they're a little bit thin right now. So I went ahead and gave them Donovan Ezaraku from Boston College. Gosh, that hurt me to do that because that's one of my favorites to the Detroit Lions. He's smaller, 6'2", 250, but he's got long arms. He's got production. He's all hustle. He has instincts. He's just going to be a very productive, solid pro, and that's usually what Baltimore somewhat takes. So at 28, that leaves the guy that I've been trying to sort of work my way down the draft board. I didn't do any trades. I didn't want to move all my teams around. I want to take people that are good fits for good teams. So we have the Detroit Lions, a very good team, very solid on offense, young defense, need an edge rush. They need more guys that can cover a coffee table. They need certain things on offense, but I'm just hoping this happens because I feel like this is safe. This is versatile. This is Detroit. This is no nonsense. This is plug and play. And that's Gray Zabel, the offensive tackle, interior guard, and center from North Dakota State. I just hoping this happens, or I hope they go up and get him, because you could start him at right guard, let Mahogany play left. If one of our tackles gets hurt, kick him out to the right or the left side. If everything goes well, he can play interior for a few years and then slide on over to center and take over Frank Ragnow. So I'm covering my bases now, in the future, and I just think Gray Zabel's all compete, all heart. Just the type of guy you want on your football team. And it just, hey, we lost a player, we added one, so we're back to even. And it's going to be even better. This team's going to be even better this year, especially if they get a player like Gray Zabel on that offensive line to keep that strong for years to come. And not just keep it strong, like add a Booker where he can only play one spot, and he's got feet, and he's got other concerns. It's like Gray Zabel can play multiple spots, and I haven't really heard one person say anything bad about him other than, you know, if he goes to a good team, they might slow play him where he doesn't just play, but he'd play for the Lions right away on the at right guard, I believe. All right, or left, you know, they could, depending on how they want to shuffle around to left guard. We'll see what happens. 29 to Washington, figure this out, or finish this out rapid fire. Washington, you know, they've already added a lot on offense. I went ahead and gave them the wild card probably of the first round, which is James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. Seems like they would take a risk. They think, oh, we got the best player, top 10 player, when I'm not a James Pierce fan. You guys have heard me say that. 30 to Buffalo. They like to get a lot of offense. They like to do this and that, but I feel like a guy that could fit in Buffalo and a guy that's stout and powerful and smart. Give them Derek Harmon, the interior tackle, defensive tackle from Oregon. 31, Kansas City. What does Kansas City do? Kansas City takes wide receivers. And no, they did not take Tet McMillan, who I don't have in the first round at all, because he doesn't love football and people are souring on this player. Could he go top 10, 15? Yes. I don't have him in the first round. But the guy that's getting all the buzz recently, the slot receiver, the tough guy, the Debo, the this, that, and the other, is Luther Burden III. No, I don't want the Lions to take him, but you know Kansas City will, because all they do is take wide receiver after 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 tight end. Like, I don't know what they're doing over there, but it works for them. Congratulations, you can have Luther Burden III at 31. I'm sure he'll be great with Patty Mahomes. And then at 32, for the Philadelphia Eagles, what do? Sit and pick or trade around the draft board and just take damn good football players that are either athletic freaks, college producers, high potential, and get absolute studs throughout the draft and by trade and by signings. And they've just been doing work the last handful of years with Howie Roseman and company. So the final pick in round 1, Give the Eagles Kenneth Grant from Michigan, 330-pound dancing bear to put in the middle. Yes, I'm well aware that they got Carter and they've got the other big fella from Georgia that the Lions were, I don't care. They're going to get another big body. Now that I think about it, maybe they won't do that with those big bodies in there. Maybe they'll take an edge. Maybe they'll try to bolster their offense. I don't know. But I felt like Kenneth Grant was BPA, so I gave him to Philly because that's kind of what they do. No trades. Yes, 30, 31, and 32 are where I could see teams jumping up. Yes, I did not have Jackson Dart in this first-round mock, but that's where I could see him going if a team that, like a New York Giants didn't take, they want to pair him up with those stud, they could jump up. Milroe is a wild card as well. I could see him either jumping up in late first, being a high to mid second round pick, which would still be surprising. People say he can't throw. I saw him put some nice balls on people in college. I also know he can run. He's a physical beast, a hell of a leader. So I could see both those guys. I don't see 5 quarterbacks or whatever, but 3 and then maybe 2 in the early mid-second round is kind of what I see going down as far as quarterbacks. But, yeah, the Lions get their guy, Gray Zabel from North Dakota State, 6'5", 316. Yes, he played left tackle his last year or so in college. He has played interior. And most of the experts I hear say they project him as a damn good center as his long-term future. So that's why it sets up so beautifully. Play the outside, play the inside, move over to the middle when it's time. Just do everything and just don't say anything. Don't wear any lime green suits like Will Campbell. Do your bleeping job and help us win a Super Bowl this year, next year. You guys know what it is. Drink it in, everybody.
Drink it in, man.
That's what I got. That's the Lions. That's the 2025 Okrie Lions full first round mock draft 1.0. And I'll catch you next time right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. I'm out.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Give me a hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Who is this Rudy Poo? Know your role and shut your mouth because the people's champ is ready to talk. What is your name? Doesn't matter what your name is. Woo! Brother.
Money, 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 money.
This happens to be a kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun. To be the man, you've got to beat the man.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
Don't hate the player, hate the king. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
All right, all right, all right.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in, man.